Okay, hands up, who actually saw this coming? Yeah, well done Jeff, you smart ass. Let's begin. A senior news producer at the BBC has leaked messages which show that the corporation is limiting official coverage of Sadiq Khan's controversial expansion of the ultra-low emission zone, ULEZ. The plans are set to hit around 700,000 hard-pressed motorists living in the capital with a charge of around £12.50 per day because their cars are not ULEZ compliant. Hundreds of thousands more commuters and businesses from outside London as well will be hit too, in what has been described as a tax grab, which could cost people more than £4,500 per vehicle each year. And the leak to Reform UK mayoral candidate Howard Cox, who has led Fair Fuel UK for decades, reveals that Mr Khan has supplied pressure on the BBC over reporting the issue. It said that journalists wanting to run stories are now needed top-level clearance over something that is set to become a major electoral issue in the London mayor election and general election both next year. The BBC producer was told in an email to news staff from Dan Feynman, senior news editor for BBC South East, if any platforms are doing a story on ULEZ changes in the South and South East, we now need to do a mandatory referral to Jason Horton or Robert Thompson regarding outstanding complaints with the Mayor of London, which is very live at the moment. Jason Horton is the Director of Production, Local Services at BBC News and Current Affairs and Head of BBC South East Today and BBC South East. He is also an Acting Director at BBC England. And Robert Thompson is BBC's Managing Editor for Online and TV in BBC England. According to Reform UK, the BBC Whistleblower told Mr Cox, all ULEZ stories are now a mandatory referral. We can't report without BBC bosses saying we can. Well, I don't know about you, but don't you think that's absolutely disgraceful? I mean, have they never heard of something called freedom of the press? In which case, I don't know about you, but to be honest, in my opinion, this kind of goes against everything that stands for. I mean, why should the BBC even put a block on such a thing? It's got nothing to do with them, has it? It's Sadiq Khan, at the end of the day, who's pushing for this ULEZ policy in general, isn't it? As a lot of people say, the BBC is the government's mouthpiece, but it kind of looks like it's now the Mayor of London's mouthpiece, who of course is a London Labour Mayor, if I remember rightly. Could it possibly be that they kind of realise that ULEZ isn't exactly going to be popular for millions of people out there, including me? I mean, I don't exactly like the idea of having to pay something like £12.50 a day just to drive through a certain area, which if you think about it might not be anywhere near the centre of London, which no doubt of course you'd probably have to pay a congestion charge as well, and in which case could actually add up by quite a bit, couldn't it? Let alone, of course, the amount of people who have to do that on a daily basis. I mean, who knows, in so many years' time they may even think, do you know what, this is peeing a lot of people off. We could either scrap it or we'll probably bring out a season ticket or something like that, or some variance of the thing. Either way though, this in my opinion just goes to show that they do realise that it isn't something which is not popular with the general public. And I don't see why, if by 2030, as they say, all new cars have to be EVs, or 2035 if they're hybrids, why such a thing is even necessary. Because let's face it, with the amount some people seem to be buying EVs over the years, which apparently is growing, I'm guessing that quite a lot of people will actually have an EV by 2035 or maybe even 2040. In which case, hopefully this won't even get off the ground. But then again, of course, in this video we've heard about what they seem to say is the replacement, and the cost they want to charge for that replacement, in my opinion, is an absolute disgrace. Anyway, I should be back soon for more, so make sure you click that subscribe button down there so you don't miss my next video. I'll see you in the next one.